The kinds of guys you need to be careful of at work are not the good looking ones or the cool ones, unfortunately, because they get girls. They get plenty of attention from women outside of work, so they're not trying to shit where they eat, usually. But the weird ones, the not so conventionally attractive ones, yeah, those are the ones you have to be careful of. Trust me, I know.
So basically, the well-groomed, in shape, attractive men don't really chase women like that, especially in the work environment. And this is the funniest thing. If you go back to a lot of my videos, right, I talk about this all the time. All the time. I call it the Windex effect, where a woman is trying to flirt with you or talk to you and you just regular with her and you can see them misfiring. And it's because you're not acting like the other guys. She just proved guys, I don't like to be right all the time, but it is what it is. When I first got in shape, I started experiencing this more and more and more and more. This is why women are not a big deal. And this is why you shouldn't be extra nice to them. Because you see what they think about dudes? They're not talking about his personality or the action of being nice and talking to women. Nah, he's creepy. See, as a guy, they want you to apply pressure. That's the same thing he's doing, but he's ugly, therefore he's creepy. And all of this stems around to the attractive guys refuse to be nice guys. But if you are too nice, she will start to look at you like those other nice guys. Now, he looked really good, but now he ain't that cute to me. Now he's not that attractive to me because his actions aren't matching his looks. This is why they like the type of guys that they like. And it's this, they're at war with themselves because it's like, I know that this isn't good for me, or I know that he will have the leverage. But even at work, even when they want your attention, they want the attractive guys to act like the thirsty guys and be nice guys and all of this stuff. No, I got that for you. No, men refuse. Men refuse, but always remember, if you don't meet this expectation first, nobody cares about what your personality is. Don't let all these people online try to tell you, because they're trying to sell you something. Now, your looks don't matter like that. It's not 100% what it takes to be attractive to a woman, but don't get it confused for a second. And what she's saying is the attractive guys aren't acting like the nice guys. They aren't coming after me, chasing me, trying to hound me down, trying to get a chance with me as the guys who I deem unattractive. Those guys are trying to do that, and I don't like that. And you have to watch out for them because they're creepy. Crazy work. Let's get clip number 2.
I was unmatched by 2 guys that I was actually having really good conversations with. Let's talk about what happened. So the first guy, we were talking about food and how he likes to cook, and he was like, well, you just say the word and then you can come over and I'll cook you my signature dish. So I basically responded and I was like, that sounds lovely eventually, but a first date, I prefer a more neutral ground. Like, I'm down to go grab a drink or something in public. Immediate unmatch. Like, dude, come on, it's 2026 and I'm into true crime. Like, I'm not coming to your house on a first date. The next guy, I really wish this was a joke. This man is like 30 something and legitimately goes, I just got to this coffee shop, you should pull up. So I go, if you want to plan a date, I'm happy to do that. Otherwise, I don't really do last minute meetups. Immediate unmatch. And here's the thing, that did not make me feel rejected at all. It actually made me feel relieved that the filter, aka my boundaries, are working, because that man was never going to treat me with respect anyways. Anytime you're enforcing a standard, it's getting you closer to the man that will actually meet it. And as much as I love going on dates for the plot, I'm also not going to waste my time with losers who can't even put a little bit of effort in for a first date. And if they're not going to do it on the first date, they're never going to do it.
Women think they can go guy shopping on dating apps, and it's absolutely hilarious to me. So these 2 guys that moved on and rejected her, right? They're obviously her type. And she's trying to move them in a certain direction. They're like, nah, I'm not going. This actually perfectly shows you how I operate on dating apps. This is exactly how I operate. One wrong move, we're done here. NVM or okay. I even operate with emotional intelligence. I don't ghost a lot of times. Okay. Or NVM. I only have 3 letters to spare. I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth with you. Women are trying to exercise their standards on men who they find attractive. That doesn't work like that. You can only exercise your standards on men who you have no attraction to. Men who don't have a lot of opportunity with women. because they're going to try to keep you around. A guy that's going to have another match and another match and another match, and a guy that's going to actually get likes. Not like he has to send out likes to get matches. Women will like his profile. Oh, you're playing with yourself, bro. You're playing a losing game. A losing game. They don't care. They're still going to always try to do this. They want attractive men to act like the nice guys. That's not how that works. And let's examine this part, right? She said, those guys weren't going to treat me with respect anyway. That just equals to those men were never going to follow my lead. You see this dilemma that they're always in? They want a leader, but they want a guy that's going to follow their lead and their standards. Absolutely not. Let's get the next one.
Do women date outside of their type? And what happens if they do? I got you. Yes, the same goes for women that goes for men. We will date outside of our type, but what always ends up happening is we're doing that because it feels safer. Very likely, the men that are your type continue to hurt you. And this should also be addressed. I'll address this in another video. But because of that, when a man who is not your type approaches you and you've probably been through some traumatic experience, you're like, I'll give this flavor a try. But the same thing applies. You will eventually be like, I don't like this flavor. Or if you do stay, it is simply for the fact that he's probably a safe option. He is predictable, and the guys you like are probably less predictable. Okay, so you will go to this man as I hate to say this, but like a backup plan, a safety plan. But eventually you will get sick of this man because he's not your type and go back to the man that is your type, or the type of men that are your type. This is not always a bad thing, though, to go for the ones that are not your type, because usually if you've been through traumatic experiences and you usually go for like the bad boy or whatever, and then you go to someone who's probably a nice guy, which I've also mentioned things about this, but neither here nor there, it will be the safest option, the most predictable option, and very likely the most stable option. Okay, so keep that in mind. But yeah, I mean, the same thing applies for women. We will try other flavors, but usually, more than likely, we go back to the one that we like.
This is why men shouldn't sweat women as well. I always tell you guys, look for the rejection, look for the resistance, because that's going to tell you that you're not her type. She's not interested in you like that. If she doesn't resist you and she falls through with the plan, she follows your instructions, 9 times out of 10, you're her type of guy. She's interested. She has high interest in you. Women are going to settle for guys that they don't want. And I said this in a prior video, but they're going to do that all to return back to a guy that they're attracted to, or they'll just stay alone. P-Pal, the chick in the second clip, said, these guys were never going to treat me with respect. It's cool. I'm not mad because now I'm getting closer to finding a guy who's going to meet my standards, i.e. a guy that you're not attracted to, i.e. the guy that you're going to give a chance. That's not how that works. They don't want to cooperate, so they'll go with the easy, safe bet. They don't like that. They don't like how that goes. In the beginning, it's good. They get a lot of attention. The guy's attentive. The guy will bring them things, gifts, and all of this stuff, take them on dates. But after a while, the excitement, there's nothing there. It fizzles out. So then they'll just return back to outside. They'll return back to the guys that they're truly attracted to that don't have to do as much because they give them the thrill, the rush. So it really makes no sense. They want to do all that because up front, attractive men who are their type, they don't want to do this nice guy charade. They don't want to do it. They don't like that. They'll go for the safe bet, all to return back to that guy. It makes no sense. And the guys that they don't find attractive are watching all of this happen. Remember, I tell you guys, you could be down here, you put in the work, you're up here. Once you're up here, you remember how you got treated down there, and you're like, I'm not going for that. I'm going to be just like the guy that you find attractive. Now I'm said guy. I tell you all the time, I know it sounds funny, but it's true. A lot of men don't even want to be viewed as special anymore. They build themselves up and they say, I want to be viewed as the other guys who you were sexually attracted to. Nothing more, nothing less. I want what they got for the price that they got it. I don't want to have to do extra. I don't want to be seen as special to you. I don't think I'm winning some type of prize here. I want to be viewed as sexually desirable like you viewed those other guys. It's it. Now, the more that men wake up, the more women have problems trying to lock down dates or find providers or attentive guys. Let's get the next one.
I hate dating. I always have. I've never been a dater. My New Year's resolution is to try and go on more dates. I've had one boyfriend, did not horrible experience. Would never recommend to anyone. And I don't go on the apps, but I did download Raya again. Like, how embarrassing. Like, my man is not on Raya, but the better looking men are on Raya, I'm not gonna lie. I've never had a Hinge. I've never been on the apps. But I fear there's no hope because I'm so happy being alone. I have a great job. My brothers, my mom, they treat me like they set the standards high. So I just fear a man who I want is never gonna come. And what I want is like not hard. It's like the bare minimum, but we can't find the bare minimum these days. Can anyone else relate?
Let's talk about what the bare minimum actually is. Be hot, be generous, and be a bunch of things that I don't really need, with a hint of toxic that can only be tamed by me. This is what the bare minimum is for women. Like, yo, it's funny. So you're not really going to find that on an app. And this is why they get frustrated. Oh, the dating apps are this and all these guys just want this. No. You don't go guy shopping on an app. You don't do that. You can set up a bunch of dates with a bunch of suckers, but this woman sounds frustrated. Like, I'm happy being by myself and all of this cope. You would never be on camera talking about apps. You would never. You can't go shopping on these apps the way you want to. And she's on an app she thinks she's going to get better results with men. No, the more attractive men are on this app, which means you're going to have to put in more work to get at one of them. Mind you, did you hear anything about what she's willing to give, bare minimum, to these guys if they meet the standards that she has? You're never going to hear it.